How I realized that I was in a twin flame connection. Hi my souls, my name is Soledad. I am a psychic tarot card reader and twin flame guide, and in today's video I am sharing the 3 major signs that made me realize I was in a twin flame connection. Maybe some of these you already know or are experiencing and don't realize that you are experiencing this because you are a twin flame. Let's dive right in. People always talk about how easy it is to recognize twin flames from feelings of love at first sight, intense love, feelings of familiarity. However, that couldn't be further from the truth for my story. My twin flame came out of nowhere, and I already had a lot of things set in motion in my life when I met that person, and I'll explain more about this throughout today's video. And if you stick around to the very end, I will actually share the most important event that made me realize I was in a twin flame connection. But first, let me share one of the most significant signs that you can actually use as confirmation that you are in a twin flame connection, especially when you are feeling like you're literally going insane, super doubtful, and like nothing is working out in your favor. And that is actually being brought back closer to your faith in universe, God, and in your life. Believing in the value of my life and knowing that I deserved better in love, friendships, and other relationships really helped me successfully get through some of the most hurtful parts of the twin flame experience. And I kind of speak all about that breaking down of my life in the initial phases of the twin flame journey in this video. It's way too long to explain here, so that's why I'm referring you to that video if you're interested, if you're curious at all. To sum it up, your twin flame experience, whether you are dealing with your twin flame or with yourself, will always bring you back to a path of light. Think of your twin flame experience as this beacon of light illuminating this path where you will always feel at the end of things, right? Things can feel like they're falling apart, but at the very end, you will always have that faith, hopefulness, the light, and overall just feeling more purposeful in your place in life and in this connection. And the second sign that made me realize I was in a twin flame connection is actually something I don't hear a lot of people mention. So of course, we're going to talk about it here. And I actually experienced this within the very first kind of few times I was connecting with my twin flame in the 3D. So not in the 5D spiritually, but actually connecting with them, talking to them, meeting up with them, talking on the phone, texting, all of that stuff. So are you ready for this? What people don't normally talk about is the immense unconditional love that you feel for your person and that begins to awaken within you. Let me explain. For example, if your twin flame says something that would normally trigger you to be reactive, judgmental, pull away, or even just stay away from that person, whether it was a reactive response in anger, sadness, whatever the emotion was, you're able to naturally kind of hold back and hold space for your twin flame in a way you haven't been able to do with anyone else, or maybe even yourself, right? It's very nurturing, the energy that comes through. And I'll give you guys a real life example. This actually happened to one of my clients. I do tarot readings and guide people through their twin flame journeys, and a lot of my clients come to me very confused and lost, and they share these experiences. So this isn't just my experience, these are experiences from the hundreds of readings that I've done. But this one particular client came to me and told me that their twin flame had some addiction issues with sex. I don't think I can say that on YouTube, so I'm just gonna spell that out for you guys. She said that normally this is a deal breaker for her, but with this person, with their twin flame, they were so patient with their twin flame. They literally was trying to hold their hand through everything that needed to happen in order for them to kind of break out of that bad habit and the issues that it was causing throughout their life, right? So that was just an example. There could be so many other things that would normally trigger you. It does make you feel uncomfortable in the moment, but instead of reacting, it's almost like you can't react, and all you can do is love them and hold space for them, like we talked about earlier. So let me know if you guys have had these experiences where your twin flame has done something to trigger you and you have just seen such a better side to yourself. They bring out a better side to yourself. Not always. Sometimes your twin flame can trigger you and it's not the best thing in the world. But in these instances, it can be such a wonderful, loving thing, and it's very connected to the heart chakra. So this is also a sign that your heart chakra is beginning to open up and unblock. You'll find that the twin flame journey has a lot of these unexplainable connections and situations where if you try to apply logic, it's just not going to work. And I actually go deeper on these topics in my book. what is a twin flame soulmate? That is also linked in the description box if you're curious at all and want to know more. Now, the final sign that made me realize I was in a twin flame connection, the most important event that you have been waiting for, is something that actually caught me really off guard, and I didn't even realize what had happened until after the fact. So that is that I was going through a Kundalini awakening. Now, you may be asking yourself, how do I know if I'm going through a Kundalini awakening? Such big fancy words, right? But let's just break it down for you in simple terms. A Kundalini awakening is a spiritual awakening that happens to twin flames, specifically to the twin that resonates with being divine feminine after twin flame separation. So if you're in no contact with your twin flame, if you had a big falling out, a big tower moment in your lives, and you're going through long periods where you aren't talking to each other, you will experience a Kundalini awakening. Now, the Kundalini awakening, some of the symptoms, they're not the best, okay? They kind of suck. I'm not gonna lie to you here. You may be feeling tired, irritated, crabbiness, lost, confused. A lot of intense emotions are being purged out of you in that moment, so you may also be feeling extra hungry. You may sleeping schedule may be out of whack, okay? For some of you, you may need more rest. For some of you, you may feel like you can't rest at all. And that is because the Kundalini awakening is basically moving energy from your root chakra, which is at the base of your spine, all the way up to your crown chakra, which is right up here at the base of your head or at the top of your head. And what this energy is doing, its purpose is starting the purification process that twin flames go through. Basically, it's moving energy up where it's touching these chakra centers that we have, right? We have the root, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the third eye, and the crown chakra, and the hundreds of other chakra centers that are throughout our body. But those are the main ones where the energy is being moved through. So essentially, it's like having a spiritual awakening. You're being upgraded, but it's a very intense spiritual awakening. Another symptom that is kind of sucky, again, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you, okay? I'm sure you've heard other people online talk about how the twin flame connections are difficult. Twin flame connections can seem toxic to other people, and they don't follow the conventional rules of relationships, right? So at this point, this is when you may be going through that emotional roller coaster of doubting, loathing, and then obsessing over your twin flame. You may be dismissing the connection one day, and then the next day crying and eating ice cream because you miss your twin flame so much and you know that this is your destiny. So let me know in the comments if that was you, because guilty is charged. So we just talked a lot about what I experienced during the connection, but if you are not there just yet and you are feeling the calling that you have a twin flame, here is a video that could be helpful. 5 things I didn't realize I was doing before attracting my twin flame union. Could be a little bit of extra confirmation for you as well.